If you're like me, you do a lot of exploring all by yourself. It's not always the greatest idea to be caught alone in a place where it's hard to get in touch with anybody for help. Communication is key, and having something that'll help you get in touch with emergency services or anybody in case you need help is extremely important. There's a lot of products out on the market that help you do that, but there's one in particular that's been taking the off-road and overland scene by storm, is WeBoost. WeBoost is a cell phone booster that's supposed to help you out with coverage in areas where there's limited service. They've just released their Overland edition not too long ago, and I have a lot of unanswered questions. So we're going to do a full installation, and then we're going to put it to the test.
Meet the Drive Reach Overland from WeBoost. Does it work? I don't know. There's a whole lot of conflicting information out there. Full disclosure, I bought it myself. This is not a sponsored video for WeBoost. We're gonna find out if it works and if it's actually worth 600 bucks. So obviously I'm gonna install it on my Jeep. That is what we take to places that have no cell phone service. I also understand that it's not just going to make cell phone service. You have to have some sort of service in order for it to boost it. Us traveling quite a bit, being able to use our Onyx, being able to have my wife work, and for me to be able to edit and work, I do need cell phone service.
So breaking into the box, you basically get everything that you need for your kit, including this mount that will allow you to fold your antenna down when you're not using it. Everything seemed to be packaged up very nicely, and after following their instructions and assembling the actual antenna, I was ready to figure out where to mount the antenna on my Jeep.
I'm thinking on the roof rack. I don't want to be on top of the roof rack. I don't feel like redoing it if I decide to put a tent up there. So let's just fab up some brackets. So I made this knowing that I might have to drill to the roof rack to support this antenna. Not sure if I'm loving the fact that it's gonna be sticking out past my roof rack. And then when it's fully unfolded, it's basically gonna look like I'm trying to communicate with SpaceX. This might actually work for some of you guys, so I'll make these brackets available on my website if you guys want to check them out. I think I have an idea for this, and I think I know what I need to do.
So recently I have fabricated a couple of different styles of brackets for my recovery boards to be able to mount them up on the back of my spare tire, and I figured this was the perfect opportunity to swap out to my MaxTrax version in order to mount the WeBoost antenna right to that same bracket on the back of the Jeep.
Pretty sure I'm onto something here. All right, so it's taking me a little bit to figure this out how I want this, but I think I MacGyvered something, and I'm gonna show you guys. This actually should work pretty good. This is what it looks like. This is how I routed the wire, and basically when you go to close it, it goes through the hole and actually falls right into the spot where it's supposed to go and clips in. That's kind of funny. Comes in through the tailgate and goes in through here, continues straight behind the carpet and goes underneath the passenger seat. Now I do have the power cable running underneath the carpet, underneath the seat to the front cigarette lighter in order for me to turn it on. I'm going to do it on a switch later. Right now I just want to make sure that it actually works and it does what it's supposed to do. And that is basically where I have it mounted up under the seat. And as far as the interior antenna, I got it right here on the dash, literally 18 inches away from my 67 Designs mount, and I basically routed the cable straight down underneath the carpet here and right to the back seat. So one of the drawbacks that I see as far as installation is they really don't give you enough wire. Essentially, this is a Jeep. It's the Unlimited. It is the 4-door, but it's still just a Jeep, and I'm only going from the dash to the rear tire. 2 cables meet in the middle. That's definitely not enough. I can't imagine the guys that are running the Sprinter vans have the antenna in the very back and then the interior antenna in the very front. That is definitely not enough wires. If you have a long distance where you're going to mount your external antenna and your front antenna or internal antenna, definitely figure out if you could pick up extra wire. That to me is already a huge negative. When you're spending $600 for a cell phone booster and you don't have enough wire, that is not a good look, WeBoost. They definitely didn't think through the brackets on this. This is just kind of one fits all universal. As long as it fits a roof rack and has some sort of clamping capability, that they called it a day. The crappy part is they're advertising that you could put it on any roof rack, but yet they only include the hardware that'll fit a one particular roof rack. All right, aside from all the crap that I noticed that I don't like, I do like that the installation is pretty easy. The box itself is pretty small. All these little issues can be taken care of. Big question is, does it work?
So to test out the WeBoost, I packed up my gear and headed out across the country. With multiple days of driving across the mountains, I made sure to pay close attention to my cell phone service. There were multiple spots on the trip where I noticed that my service dropped down to a bar or 2 with the WeBoost on, and after turning it off, I noticed that the cell phone service dropped out completely. Once you turn the WeBoost back on, you have connectivity, and I would also make sure if I could make a phone call or not. And in some cases, I was even able to upload and download video. So one of the major drawbacks with the WeBoost is that it does depend on having some sort of service available to it. If there is zero service, you are not going to get any connectivity at all. So it's not something that you could depend on going into a remote location and if something happens that you're able to make the phone call. If you're like me and find yourself exploring remote areas that have zero cell phone coverage, I would recommend having a backup device such as a personal emergency beacon or something that has satellite capabilities to connect in case you get into a situation where you need help.
I did a 1,200 mile round trip to the Silver Lake sand dunes. Does it work? Well, driving through the mountains, I haven't lost my signal once. I typically lose signal in the mountains. In fact, I've had signal so good that I was actually uploading videos at random gas stations that I was stopping. Would I recommend it? Depends how worth it is for you. If not losing service is a big deal to you and you have to stay connected for whatever reason, whether you're working or whatnot, I think it's worth $600. In some cases, if you're camping in a remote area and you still need to do some work and you're able to get service, then I think it's worth it. I still do think for the quality, $600 is pretty damn steep. Hopefully this is gonna help you make a decision. I'm here at Silver Lake Sand Dunes, so I'm gonna go and have some fun with the Jeep. I wanna thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you smash that subscribe button to see more content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching and later.